Tobal, rabino principal de la comunidad Monte Sinaí. Distinguidos rabinos de la comunidad Monte Sinaí y de todas las comunidades que nos acompañan. Señor Alon Lavi, representante de la Embajada de Israel en México. Señor Moisés Romano, presidente del Comité Central de la Comunidad Judía de México. Señor Max Selman, presidente de la Sociedad de Beneficencia Alianza Monte Sinaí. Señores presidentes de las comunidades hermanas. Estimados líderes de la comunidad judía de México, distinguidos donadores, organizadores, voluntarios, comunidad judía de México, en nombre de la comunidad Monte Sinaí, sean ustedes bienvenidos a su casa. Hoy por la mañana nos encontrábamos con el Rabbi Rabbi Sacks, que tenemos el gusto de tenerlo con nosotros, y me dijo un comentario que les comparto y que aplaudo. Deberías de viajar por el mundo para que cuando regreses valores la comunidad tan extraordinaria que tienen en México. Dijo Shelomo Amelech en su discurso de inauguración del Beit HaMikdash: Baruch Shenatan Menuja le'amo Israel kehol asher diber. Bendito el que da tranquilidad al pueblo de Israel para hacer todo lo que él manda. Qué afortunados hemos sido de encontrar un lugar como México para establecernos, crecer y desarrollarnos. Tener una comunidad como esta, y qué honor estar todos reunidos esta noche con la fortuna de tener un líder religioso que ha enaltecido el nombre de Dios en el mundo como lo ha hecho el Rabbi Lord Jonathan Sacks. Ine matov umanaim shevet achim gam yachad. Qué bueno y qué hermoso es tener a todos los hermanos sentados juntos. Querido Rab, como siempre le refrendo mi más alta admiración, pero como primer regalo que queremos que se lleve de México está esta hermosa fotografía que se divisa desde este estrado. Es la fotografía de todos los líderes del Yishuv judío mexicano, reunidos para escuchar palabras de nuestra Torah Kedoshá. Me atrevería a decir, sin temor a equivocarme, que si todo el motivo de su visita fue para que estemos unidos y alegres en esta noche como hermanos, para llevarnos una enseñanza de nuestra sagrada Torah, da lleno. Por años, el pueblo judío, el pueblo del libro, hemos estado motivados por la sabiduría de nuestra Torah. Somos los que nos cuestionamos, estudiamos, analizamos, debatimos y buscamos mejorar nuestro mundo y nuestro entorno en cada hazaña, en cada avance. Nosotros en México nos sentimos altamente agradecidos con su visita y esperamos sea esta la semilla que ha venido a sembrar en cada uno de nosotros para acercarnos cada vez más al camino de la Torah y las Mitzvot, un camino más humano, con un discurso tan preciso, prudente e inteligente, pero a la vez comprometedor con nuestras raíces, nuestra historia, nuestra herencia y con nuestro bendito Estado de Israel. Con los pocos días de su estancia en México, ha podido comprobar el cariño con el que lo recibimos. Y hoy dejamos huella del honor y privilegio que tenemos de tenerlo en nuestras comunidades. La comunidad judía de México es una comunidad viva, orgullosa de sus raíces y motivada con sus tradiciones. Una comunidad hermana que ayuda y apoya. Una comunidad solidaria de su país, ejemplo de crecimiento institucional al mismo tiempo que espiritual. Cada día tenemos más gente en nuestras escuelas, nuestros templos, nuestros Talmudé Torah y más gente trabajando por nuestro querido Israel, por México y sus familias, dando trabajos, aportando de forma institucional y a la vez humana a las necesidades de un país que tiene que sanar aún en varios temas. Tenemos instituciones ejemplares que enaltecen el nombre de nuestro pueblo. Lady Sacks, Elaine, as we know you from many of the stories the Rabbi is telling us in many lectures, thank you for your support in this project. And the support you always give to the wonderful man and great rabbi, as is Rabbi Sacks. It is that behind a great man, there is a greater woman. Thank you very much. Johanna, I will speak in Spanish. Gracias por toda la labor atrás de estos eventos, de su planeación, de cada detalle y de enseñarnos que el trabajo profesional que hay atrás de nuestro Rab es resultado del arduo trabajo del equipo que trabaja atrás y que es encabezado por tan noble y profesional persona como lo eres tú. Muchas gracias. Rab, hemos aprendido de usted que debemos de soñar. Dream big. Soñamos con encontrar herramientas y elementos que acerquen a todos a la Torá. Soñamos con tener su presencia en México. Soñamos con este día y con este momento. Querido equipo, Dani, Sami, Sion, Eduardo, David, Manuel, Emilio, Perla, Max, Michelle, Doris, Gina, Emilio, Lina, Marcos, Jacobo Cheja, Jacobo Mizrahi, Salo Cherem, Natán Feldman, Robbie Davidson, etcétera, etcétera, etcétera. Gracias por creer en este sueño y hacerlo realidad. Gracias a todas las esposas y esposos de cada uno de ellos, que como diría mi esposa, pueden decir hoy, finally. Gracias a todos los donadores, gracias por su apoyo y generosidad para hacer posible esta visita con tan grande impacto, con un líder de esta talla como debe de ser recibido. Ustedes lo hicieron posible, muchísimas gracias. Rabbi Sacks es un personaje que enaltece la sabiduría judía, que eleva la sabiduría de la Torá y la transmite con sencillez, pero a su vez con amor y fomenta la paz, armonía y eleva el espíritu humano con sus palabras. El día de hoy, la comunidad Monte Sinaí y la comunidad judía de México se llenan de gala después de tanto tiempo de espera y de emoción con tan distinguida visita. El primer reto sería poder mencionar todos los títulos académicos que le preceden y de todos ellos su gran trayectoria con la que lo han condecorado. Y es motivo de orgullo para nuestro pueblo contar en nuestras filas con un soldado de la Torá, con tantos reconocimientos y méritos internacionales. Mi primer encuentro con el Rabbi Sacks fue a través de su reflexión semanal sobre la parashá de la semana, Covenant and Conversation, seguida por una columna en los materiales de Shabbos Project y a través de la extensa lista de videos que se han difundido de forma viral en YouTube y redes sociales. Si bien es cierto, las redes sociales han venido a transformar la comunicación e interacción de todas las personas en todas las naciones y en todas las culturas. Esto, si bien ha actuado de forma negativa, también nos ha permitido lograr el acercamiento y unidad de todos los judíos alrededor del mundo. Todos los que estamos detrás de la organización de tan distinguida visita hemos trabajado arduamente por ofrecer a la comunidad judía de México una serie de eventos especiales, soñando con presentar un judaísmo bello y sencillo, que renazca, que no está peleado con la modernidad, la tecnología, la academia, la ciencia, pero sobre todo en hacernos judíos más conscientes del preciado valor de serlo y orgullosos de nuestro judaísmo y de nuestro legado. Sus palabras son el bálsamo para el alma, una vitamina para la teshuvá. Usted nos ha empoderado a salir con la frente bien en alto sobre nuestra identidad judía y a apreciar la vasta literatura que es corona de nuestra nación. Sus palabras nos motivan a entender la importancia de estudiar Torá y de comprometernos con la halajá. Para mí es un privilegio tener la oportunidad de invitar esta noche a quien fuera por 22 años el Chief Rabbi del Reino Unido y el Commonwealth, al 17 veces laureado doctor honoris causa, ganador del premio Templeton 2016 y otros premios más, autor de más de 30 libros, varios de ellos bestsellers, y un vasto currículum que podría leer un buen rato. Mejor, tengo el orgullo y el honor de presentar con ustedes al líder, filósofo, pensador y sabio de nuestra época, Rab, Lord Jonathan Sacks. Bienvenido a su casa.
כבוד הרב הראשי, Rav Tuval, Rabbanim Mechubadim, distinguished rabbis, presidents, leaders, distinguished leaders of this great community, presidents, and many, many past presidents. And may I congratulate all of them, because the best job in the world is to be a past president. I want to thank all of you for all the presidents for bringing together all the communities in this wonderful center, this beautiful complex at Mount Sinai. All of you, to bring presidents and shuls together is, as they say, as hard as dividing the Red Sea. So when you bring Jews together, that is a very special miracle. So I salute you all, but in particular, our host this evening, Max Ellman. Max, bless you. Thank you. A round of applause for all the presidents and for Max. I thank you for your incredible hospitality. In fact, after this visit, I'm going to have to fast for a month. I have never seen such beautiful eating. I mean, you know, I'm going to become Sephardi immediately. And no detail has been too much. The food, the hospitality, but then you thought, here's Elena and Jonathan from London where it's cold and wet, and they're feeling so out of it with all this blue sky and sunlight. So he gave us this evening some English rain as well. I thank you very much. After 3 days in the Mexican community, I can tell you we are going to find it very hard to leave, because we have fallen in love with your community. Its warmth, its energy, its passion, your great schools, your amazing Bodei Knesiot, your facilities, the like of which I have seen nowhere else in the entire Jewish world. I salute you, I admire you, and I say, paraphrasing what Jewish men say to their wives every Friday evening, if I may paraphrase it, Rabot kehilot asu chayil va'at alit al kulana. Many communities have done worthily, but you excel them all. Now, these achievements do not come from nowhere. They say a community gets the leaders it deserves. So you must be the best leaders in the Jewish world, because yours is the greatest community. What you have created here is unique. You have a higher percentage of Jewish children going to Jewish schools than anywhere else in the diaspora. You have a higher percentage of involvement in the community than any other diaspora community. You have a lower rate of assimilation than almost any other community. And so I say to all the Ashkenazim, Yeyashe Kochachem, and to all the Sephardim, Chazak u'Baruch. Equally, you are blessed by wonderful Rabbanim, and I salute your Rav Arashi, Rav Tuval, and the many wonderful Rabbanim here, every one of whom is a pride to the Torah and to the Jewish people, every one of whom works b'darchei noam through ways of pleasantness. They are fine, fine Rabbanim. And the most beautiful thing is they all work together. So I salute your Rabbanim also. Now, it is not easy to be a leader ever, but to be a leader of Jews is the hardest thing on earth. Does anyone know the first recorded words by another Jew to Moses? You remember he intervenes when he sees two Jews fighting, and they say to him, Mi samacha la'ish sa v'shofet aleinu? Who appointed you as our leader? He hadn't even dreamt of becoming their leader, and already they were criticizing his leadership. So it is not easy to be a leader of Jews. When Moses handed on the leadership to Joshua, in Rashi's commentary, he says that Moses said to Joshua, Da she sorbanim heim, tarchanim heim. They are very, very difficult to lead. Jews are great at leading, but they are terrible at following. But then Rashi adds, Ashrecha shezachita lahanhig banav shel hamakom. Blessed are you that you have the privilege of leading God's own people, God's own children. So I hope you feel lefum tzara agra, according to the pain is the reward. That is my one consolation to all of you. Friends, I would say your achievements are all the more striking. When Elaine and I travel through the Jewish world, and sadly we see many communities that have immense potential, but somehow haven't come together as you have, or been led with the same vision as you have. We've spent the last 4 years, much of it in the United States, which has an amazing Jewish community, the biggest outside of Israel. But listen to this. In the Pew Report of 2013, it discovered that of American Jews, 48% of them cannot read an Aleph Bet. How can a community be without education? You can't have it. Education keeps us going. We just had a report out now on American Jewry, I don't know if you saw it, September of last year, where they had a huge survey of young American Jews. And when they asked them, what is your religion? 53% said none. And this is the decimation of American Jewry because they didn't do what you did. And you know that the most important thing you did was build schools. When I became chief rabbi in 1991, I realized that if we didn't build a lot more Jewish day schools, we would not have a future. When I became chief rabbi, we had 25% of our children at Jewish day schools. When I left, we had 70%. So we have, Baruch Hashem, in Britain a much stronger community than before, but still not as strong as you. The Mesopotamians, I said this morning, built ziggurats. The Egyptians built pyramids. The Greeks built the Parthenon. The Romans built the Colosseum. Jews built schools. That is why those great civilizations are no more, but we can still sing Am Yisrael Chai. So I salute you for doing the right thing at placing Torah and learning at the heart of your life, and you will have been so richly blessed for doing so. What then shall I wish you? I think I want to wish you three things. Number one, I want to tell you a little story. You probably heard it, because I didn't realize all of you would watch my videos. I never watch my videos, so I don't know what they say, but I think I probably said this in one video, but forgive me. When I was 20 years old, a student at university, and I had all sorts of questions, and I went around America in my summer vacation, meeting lots of rabbis, and I kept hearing one name again and again, the Lubavitcher Rebbe. And so I decided with a lot of chutzpah and a lot of patience that I would get to see the Lubavitcher Rebbe, which I did in 1968, 50 years ago. And I started asking him all my questions of faith and so on, and he answered. And then he did what none of the other rabbis I met, and I met many, many rabbis, he did what none of them did. He did a role reversal. He started asking me questions. How many Jewish students at Cambridge University? How many of them come to the Jewish Society? What are you doing about it? And he was challenging me to do something. And I hadn't come there for that. So I began a very complicated English sentence in the situation in which I find myself. And halfway through the sentence, the Rebbe interrupted and said, "You don't find yourself in a situation, you put yourself in a situation. And you can put yourself in a different situation." And he was challenging me to get up and do something to strengthen Jewish life. And years later, looking back at that, I suddenly realized how people had not understood the Lubavitcher Rebbe. They saw a man with thousands of followers. Well, that was true, but not what was special about him, because lots of people have thousands of followers. And I defined what was special about him this way. I said, good leaders create followers. Great leaders create leaders. And that's what he did. I am one of the results. He sent his shlichim all around the world. And I felt I owe him so much that wherever I go, that's what I try to do. And that is my first message to you. Go and create more leaders. Empower the young members of your community. Give them the space to develop the programs that will speak to their age group. Allow them to take risks. Allow them to make mistakes. Give them that responsibility and challenge. And you will create the leaders of the future that will take this great community to even greater heights. That is my first message. My second message is this. I want you to listen to this. When God spoke to Joshua immediately after Moses died, he wanted to give him encouragement because he knew how hard it was going to be. And he said this, Chazak ve'ematz, be strong and of good courage and lead the people into the land. And then he said, Rak chazak ve'ematz ma'od, be very strong and of great good courage, lishmor la'asot K'chol haTorah asher tzivacha Moshe avdi, to keep all the Torah that Moses has commanded you. It is hard to fight a physical battle, but it is harder still to fight a spiritual battle. That's the real one. And that is the battle of Torah in every generation. No Jewish community ever survived without strong Torah institutions. They could be rich, wealthy, powerful. They never survived. And there is something beautiful the sages said about the ark that symbolizes Torah. You know, some of the Levi'im had the job of carrying the ark when the Israelites journeyed through the wilderness. And the sages say, Aaron noseh et nosav. They thought they were carrying the ark, but actually the ark was carrying them. That's what Torah is. We think we are keeping the Torah. Actually, the Torah is keeping us. Now, young people in your community, I have discovered after 3 days, like every other Jewish community in the world, are living in a world which is creating tensions for them. They see a world around them, on the television, the internet, the social media, very technologically advanced, but very far from our religious and moral values. And they feel very torn and tense. I've listened to them over the last few days. Now, you know there are two things you can do. You have two options. You can say, we're going to protect our youth by making sure they never have any contact with the world outside, or we can make our youth strong enough in their faith and their belief to face everything the outside world can throw at them and still remain strong and confident Jews. I respect the people who take the first option, but I advise you to take the second one. Your students are going to have but for that, you know, you're going to have to give them good programs to prepare them for the intellectual and social and moral challenges they'll face. And you've got great educators, great rabbanim, and they are equal to that challenge. But please, my second request, give your rabbanim and give your mechanechim all the support they need to give your young people the confidence to go out into the world and not only stay strong in their faith, but stay stronger in their faith, because they know they can win every battle the world has to throw at us. Let me tell you, having spent 25 years out there in the public domain, we may think the world is challenging us. Actually, the world is listening to us. The darker the world gets out there, the brighter the light of Torah shines. So have no fear, but have the courage and confidence in your rabbis and educators to give your children that strength to meet that challenge. And finally, I want to say something from the heart. You see, I've felt quite emotional these last 3 days. You have created here something that is very unusual. I don't know if you know how unusual you are. You have created a cohesive community that embraces everyone. That is a difficult thing to do, and you've done it. I don't know how you did it, but all of you together here are a symbol of it. You work together, you respect one another, We say, Hine ma tov u'mana'im shevet achim gayom yachad. How nice and how pleasant when brothers and sisters can sit together. But I also add, and how rare. It just doesn't happen. So you have created a cohesive community. I beg you from my heart, don't lose it. Don't give way to the extremists who are trying to divide and upset you. Because you are right. And they are wonderful and holy people, but on this they are wrong. Friends, let me be blunt with you. Some of the greatest empires the world has ever known tried to destroy us. Egypt, Assyria, Babylon, the Greeks, the Romans, the medieval Christians and Muslims, all the way to the Third Reich and the Soviet Union. Every single one of those empires that thought it would live forever has been consigned to history, and our tiny people is still standing strong. But 3 times our people went into exile. Once in the days of Joseph and his brothers, a second time after the destruction of the first temple and the Babylonian exile, a third time with the destruction of the second temple and the Roman conquest. And all 3 times for the same reason. In the days of Jacob and his children, it says about Joseph's brothers, Vayisna'u oto, they hated him, V'lo yachlu dabro l'shalom, and they could not speak peaceably to him. So they sold him as a slave, and in the end, all of them became slaves. In the first temple period, after a mere 3 kings, Shaul, David, Shlomo, the kingdom divided, and as the other Avram, not Avram Avinu, Avram Lincoln, said, a house divided against itself cannot stand. And that was the beginning of the end, the inability of the tribes to live together. One would have thought that in the second temple period, they would have learned the lesson. But then the divisions within Jews were, if anything, even worse. Between Pharisees, Sadducees, Essenes, Beit Hillel, Beit Shammai, the moderates, the Kanaim, the zealots. And the end result was all the Romans had to do was sit there and wait for the Jews to fight the other Jews, and that was all it needed. We outlived every empire. There is only one people capable of defeating the Jewish people, and that is the Jewish people. I beg you, we must not let it happen here. You are the ones who should set an example of unity to the world. Hold fast, hold strong, and hold together. We're going to read in Shul on Shabbat Parashat B'Shalach. The Israelites go through the Red Sea. Az Yosher Moshe Uvenei Israel. Even Ashkenazim know the Sephardi tune for that. And it's a beautiful thing. Think about it. Whenever Moses and the Israelites spoke, they argued. But when they sang together. Why? Because words are the language of the mind. And when it comes to mind, 2 Jews, 3 opinions. But music is the language of the soul. And at the level of the soul, all Jews are ke'ish echad, belev echad, like one person with one heart. So therefore I say to you, on this week when we're going to remember when all Israel sang together, I say to you, continue to sing together. Stay together. You can argue as much as you like, but always respect one another. If you do that, you will bring blessing, joy, and pride to this community, to Am Yisrael, and to Hashem. Thank you, and may God bless you all. Amen. Thank you so much. Beautiful. That's beautiful. Fantastic. Lovely.
Well, this is a tree of life. This is with all our heart from Mount Sinai community to you. We're very thankful and very honored to have you again. And I'd like to, I'm going to try to, it's very difficult.
Special gratitude.
No puedo.
Que no se ve bien.
Special gratitude
Yeah.
to Rab.
Guys, since it's in English, I'll read it to you, blushing. A special gratitude to Rabbi Lord Jonathan Sacks on your visit to Mexico. Alianza Monte Sinai, Max Hellman, President, 8th of Shevat, 5778, and January the 24th, 2018. Thank you and bless you. Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Oh, hang on. Thanks.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you. Great. Thank you.
Muchas gracias a todos por su compañía. Muy buenas noches. Se quedan en su casa, disfruten del postre. Muchas gracias.